What's up, Ravens fans? We are back here at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. Clifton Brown and I are here to give you our expectations of what this week is going to look like. First of all, Cliff, it's just good to be back.
Absolutely. I mean, we all know what we've been through the last couple of years. To be back here to get a feel of these guys in person, for the Ravens to have a chance to talk to these players in person, I just think it brings a lot of clarity and excitement to the pre-draft process. And we've all kind of missed this the last couple of years. It is good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot that takes place during the week here at Indy. Of course, there's the on-field drills, the 40-yard dash, all that fun stuff. But there's a lot that goes on beyond that. We're here in the media room where we're going to get a chance to hear from NFL coaches, general managers, also the players themselves. And then there's the interviews that the teams have with the players just to get to know them a little bit more. So in your mind, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the workouts and who separates themselves this week. We've seen the mock drafts. We're going to continue to see them, who the Ravens are linked to, but particularly say a position like cornerback, where the Ravens certainly are going to be looking at corners, and there's a lot of corners to choose from here in this draft who are very talented. Will a couple of them really stand out? I think the way the corners work out, you can see more about them than maybe an offensive lineman. We don't have pads here and some of the stuff that they do. So I am interested to see the corners here, in particular in regards to the Ravens, if there's someone who they really like coming out of here, who they think they may be able to get with that 14th pick.
Well, there's certainly plenty of projections for the Ravens from a mock draft standpoint at the cornerback position. I mean, I think the one great thing about the Combine is that in a lot of ways it's a great equalizer. There's so many kind of mock drafts and projections that are out there right now, but once you get to the Combine and everybody here is working out on the same field and teams are talking to each other, there's kind of a consensus that can build over the next few days. And I think that's going to be really important and something to watch. I mean, I look at a position like the offensive tackle spot, and I think that the Ravens are certainly going to draft an offensive tackle at some point. Right now, there's wide variety in terms of where those guys are going to go in the first round. After this week, I think maybe there's a little bit more of a consistent expectation for that position, and that comes from the workouts, the interviews, and then, of course, the teams talking with each other. All right, Cliff, another thing that is important this week is we get to hear from some of the coaches and GMs around the league. General Manager Eric DeCosta is going to meet with reporters at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. We'll stream that for you live. What are you looking forward to hearing from him?
Well, I'm curious to think if Eric reveals anything kind of reading between the lines. He's so good, I think, at giving you information, but yet kind of protecting what the Ravens want to do. But I do think for Eric, I'm curious to ask him or want him to comment on, these guys are so prepped now for these interviews. Has it become harder for him and the rest of the scouting department to really use the interviews to figure out, is this guy a Raven or is this guy someone who might be a good player but doesn't really maybe fit in as well as someone else? There's so much talk with the Ravens, real talk about the culture there. What type of player they're looking
like a
for.
Raven.
Exactly. They're looking for guys this week who fit that mold. And so can they see through the smoke and mirrors of these guys trying to put their best foot forward all the time and really get to the heart of, is this guy have the type of character and work ethic that we like? I think that's one of the reasons why it is important to see these guys face to face in this type of setting.
I agree with that, and I think the other thing I'll be interested to hear from him is just if there's any update on any of the contract fronts. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in that regard here at the Combine too, because agents are here, teams are talking to agents, and again, teams are talking to other teams. So is there any movement on the contract front with any pending free agents, any players who could be salary cap casualties, any of that? I mean, a lot of that is some of the discussion that takes place here during this week in Indianapolis, so I'm curious if he'll shed any light on those topics as well. Now, it's going to be busy. I mean, it's going to be a busy week here. The workouts start later in the week, and tomorrow is when we're going to get to start hearing from the coaches and GMs. So we'll be here to bring it to you all throughout the week. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.